To another edition of Community Tapestry. My name is Napoleon Bell, and I'm the Executive Director with the City of Columbus Community Relations Commission. And to my left is...
Toni Teague. It's good to be back.
It's great to have you back. It's a new year.
That's right. It's 2014, and we are off to a great start. And it's cold.
It is. It's a little cold. A little cold. It is. Well, you know, I knew it was going to be cold. That's why I tried to, get a little insulation going on here.
Oh, well, lucky you.
Yeah, I know. Well,
I can't do such, so I've got to wrap up with a scarf.
Well, it's driving me crazy. But this year, there's a lot of resolutions out there.
That's right.
It's just a matter of keep to them.
I've got my list. It's growing by the day.
Well, my list is a very short list, and so I'm hoping I can just get one thing done this year. But, speaking of resolutions, we got to make resolutions to reality. Mm-hmm. With the new year comes New Year resolutions. On the top of most everyone's list has something to do with money. How do I make money go farther this year? Although mine is always, how will I lose weight this year or this summer even? Or for some, maybe it's this year to buy a new home. This year's resolution might just be that. So to get your financial affairs in order to purchase that new home. One Central Ohio agency can help you make those New Year's resolutions become a reality. We'd like to welcome from Columbus Housing Partnership, Amy Claiborne, President and CEO, and Leah Evans, Director of Home Ownership. I'd like to welcome you both to the program.
Thank you for having us.
Great. Well, I'm so glad that you're here. But, when I hear the name, Columbus Housing Partnership.
It's different now.
Yeah. What happened? What changed? Because there's some confusion going on. I'm not sure what number to call.
We're now known as Homeport. So we did a rebranding a number of years ago because we found that people who come to us for our programs to buy homes, for the services we provide, the name Homeport really resonated, and it really describes what we do because we're about home. And people need a good place to live, whether they're renting or they're owning, whether they're learning how to buy, they need a place to go, and so we rebranded to Homeport. People can get to us either way, but hopefully they'll remember our new name.
Well, that's interesting that you made that change because Homeport does feel, a lot more, intimate.
It
does. Yes.
It does.
So I kind of get that warm feeling, even under all this cold, when you hear Homeport.
Well, thank you.
Well,
yes.
you talk about some things that you've got going on there. I mean, since you've done this rebranding, tell us a little bit about what Homeport actually does.
So Homeport has been in the community for 26 years. And one of our larger programs is teaching people how to become and remain a homeowner. So we have free homebuyer education classes. They're offered twice a month. We have financial literacy programs. We also help people who are struggling to keep their home. As you know, Central Ohio has been hard hit by the foreclosure crisis, and we have helped thousands of people over the last 6 years keep their homes. People can call us. They can find us online under Homeport, or if they don't remember the new name, under Columbus Housing Partnership, and come in and get free programs. In our community, the homeownership rate of African Americans is much lower than Caucasians. And to us, it's very important that we increase that homeownership rate. Homeownership does provide stability. It's not for everyone, and that's important. And what I like about our programs is that we're not telling people they should buy. People need to have the facts, and as you mentioned early on, people need the financial information to really make a wise decision, and we provide that and then help people get ready because it takes time if they're not ready today.
Wow. So you're also helping out with some other areas like the revitalization of the King Lincoln area. Can you tell us a little more about that?
That's right. You want to talk about revitalization, Leah?
Especially as Amy was saying, home ownership is a piece, but really that's a tool that we use to impact the entire neighborhood. And so as part of the revitalization of the area, we are building new homes for homeownership opportunities, but we're really engaged with the community. We've become partners with existing organizations and long-term institutions so that we can make sustainable change and make it a neighborhood of choice that people are wanting to come into. It was an area that wasn't being the market wasn't going into. And so we made a choice, a conscious, informed choice as an organization to go in and be a leader in investing in properties that were at that time were vacant or abandoned. Or that's one of our policies, that we go into a property that doesn't have occupants so that we would purchase them. Some of them we got from the city through the land bank program, and then we're able to build new housing products, or we actually do rehab. So we also it's important to us to maintain the fabric of the community by doing rehab projects as well as new building construction.
So it sounds like you're also visionaries as an organization, because to look at to really look at the demographics of what's going on throughout the entire city, and hone in on a particular area and say, I've got a plan for this part of the community's future. Mm-hmm. About how long have you been investing in that King Lincoln area? Because it's not been an overnight thing.
No.
You're with it for the long haul. Can you talk about that?
We've been there about 9 years. And previous to that, we developed rental housing in the community and recognized that, as Leah was saying, it's not just about developing the homes, it's creating the housing opportunities. It's really investing in the fabric of the neighborhood. So over 9 years, we have worked on a number of streets, and it involves not just the homes, but new infrastructure, creating a homeowners association so that there is a lot of local opportunity to get involved. Because if you think of a neighborhood, again, it's not the houses, it's the people who live there.
Absolutely.
And so one of my favorite stories is a woman who, her mom lived on one of the streets in King Lincoln, and she wanted to move back with her children so that her children can live near her mother and have that opportunity to have an intergenerational living. But the housing stock wasn't what she wanted. So when she saw that we were building new homes, she came to us, bought a home, and now her children have a wonderful relationship with her mother, their grandmother. We work with residents who've lived on the street in the area 20 years, 30 years, 50 years. I mean, there's a lot of long-term residency in King Lincoln. And what we brought back was hope. People were so excited when we started coming in with programs to beautify the neighborhood, but get the residents involved. There's now a community garden. We partner with AME Church at Long and 21st. There's community space that's been created. So we bring those opportunities along with the homes.
Wow, that's awesome.
Well, and what I'm hearing here is, you talk about moving back and bringing back hope. I'm hearing community engagement. So it sounds like a holistic approach to not, come in and build buildings and move everyone out. But people are coming back, and they're saying, hey, this is affordable housing. We can come back here to where our family grew up and really revitalizing the area with the people who have lived there.
And let me say, because you've used the term affordable housing, the housing is affordable to people all incomes.
Okay.
And a lot of our buyers are market rate. Okay. It's we have people who are professors who've moved into the neighborhood. What is so exciting is to see the diversity of people, all colors, all ages, all incomes, all family makeup, who are moving in because it is a wonderful place to live.
Right.
And but part of that is making sure that there's housing at different price points to meet the different needs.
And I was going to say, originally, a few years back, people were really worried about that area becoming gentrified. And it sounds like because of the holistic approach that you've taken, as Napoleon said, it just really means that it's a truly integrated community.
Yes.
And
building on, again, the history, the institutions. You know, you have the King Arts Complex, you have the Lincoln Theater, you have the OSU Extension Center. These are things that people and resources that people are seeking, that they go after, that they visit, but a lot of times they come in from outside the neighborhood. And Amy mentioned one of the churches. I believe there's over 30 churches in that immediate footprint that we consider the King Lincoln District. And so you have people coming in to the neighborhood that care about the neighborhood but weren't finding housing opportunities again. So that's been an opportunity for them to come back, to now be participatory with the different engagement opportunities. PACT, which has been a leader also in the area that's out from the OSU perspective. They've done a lot of community meetings. We've held community meetings. We want to hear what the people that live there have to say. And so we didn't want it to be an effect of new investment and new persons coming in. We wanted a mix. We wanted the existing residents to feel comfortable. We wanted people who had lived there in the past to come back, as well as bringing new life and new opportunities. And we're actually working on, continue to do tours. We do tours. Anybody wants to see it, you can always call us. We'll take you around and show you the neighborhood, to showcase the different people groups so the young professionals, and so the empty nesters. And we have a product that will meet you where you are, depending on whatever stage of life that you're in.
If people want to call you for a tour or more information, where will they go on the web, and how will they contact you by phone?
So our website is homeportohio.org, and our phone number 614-221-8889, and they can find us either way. We're talking about revitalization. The other piece that's important is the retail and the commercial activities.
Okay.
And people think about central city neighborhoods and wonder, where are the services? Since we started nine years ago, there's a couple of coffee shops, there's a bookstore, there's art gallery, there's a new store coming in.
A new boutique coming in. We actually have, again, homeownership is one of the tools in the toolboxes. So we actually have staff in our office that has been working specifically on economic development. So specifically meeting with small business owners, meeting with the property owners, meeting with the tenant association, talking about what would it take to get you to come and locate on Long Street or on Mount Vernon in the district, and trying to meet those needs and overcome some barriers. Of course, with small businesses, there's always a number of different barriers, startup costs, business plans, different kind of things. But again, we have partners. We can send them to ECDI to get different kind of services. We can work with the city. They have some facade and grant programs for improving a building. So we're also looking at different partners that can bring those resources to bear so that we can provide the services that the residents are asking for. And if you hear of any restaurants, that's what people keep asking us for. So hearing restaurants, send them down Long Street.
Well, this is very exciting because, to hear all this that's going on, but then also, you talk about the opening up of Long Street to be two ways. Now, and also the bridge, and they're putting the caps on too. So this is going to open up this entire area. So this is, I would think, prime location for new businesses to come in, and also to purchase homes and rent, what have you. I mean, this is going to be an area that's going to be bustling once again like it was. And so this is very exciting to hear.
Like you're reconnecting back to downtown. The cap is going to be a huge improvement to the area, just in terms of safety, aesthetics, and allowing people to feel like, okay, I'm right there at Columbus State. I'm right there at the Discovery District. I'm right there on Broad Street.
Exactly.
And so it'll just, again, improve the value. And again, as a neighborhood of choice is what it's going to be.
Exactly. Well, now this isn't the only neighborhood that you guys are doing this to. I heard, through the grapevine, probably everybody knows, but talk to us about American Addition. I mean, that's an area that has needed help for a long time. But and so what are we doing there?
So another exciting opportunity for people. American Addition is another historic African American neighborhood, and in the mayor's words, it's one that was forgotten. And so the city has come in and they are putting in the infrastructure and modernizing it. Obviously there's infrastructure there. We have built already 10 homes immediately sold. And so as soon as the first phase of the infrastructure is done this year, we will be building more homes. That neighborhood is located on Joyce. It's north of the King Lincoln area, and another area that is very close to lots of job opportunities. And an area that we saw there's people living there that needed improved infrastructure, housing opportunities, and so we're providing it. We also have a lot of rental opportunities just north of there. Homeport has created a lot of rental opportunities throughout central Ohio, a lot of it in the Linden area, but as well Franklinton, the Nationwide Children's area, and then throughout the community. We have affordable rental opportunities. Today, over 5,000 people live with us.
Wow.
And what's different is we connect people to lots of programs so that families are successful and able to have jobs and access the services of the community so that they can feed their children, obtain health care, and all of the other things we need for family success.
That's awesome. You also deal with some volunteers. So tell us about your volunteer program.
We always need volunteers.
And how can people sign up to volunteer?
They can go to the website, of course, the homeport.org, or also call the 614-221-8889. We have a manager of volunteer engagement. She is very energetic. She's a great person, and will really talk with you and find out what resources are you bringing to bear, what your skill sets are, what you're interested in doing, what your time commitments. We'll take a one-day commitment, we'll take a 1 hour commitment, we'll take a year commitment. But we have so many different ways that people can volunteer. And as Amy was mentioning, in the King Lincoln District, we've done beautification projects. We've done cleanup projects. We've done repainting some of the commercial spaces. So we have hands-on volunteer opportunities, but we also have had volunteers that do projects in our office, help us, unfortunately, with the more mundane tasks of filing and things like that, but also some of our surveying. Some of our surveying work. So we have a myriad of opportunities. We had a very successful, awesome first-year event for our Bright Ideas Book Bank, which was an initiative that we started just this year, where we were giving books to children in our rental home, in our rental projects, and it was just so successful. We were all moved. We had our all-staff meeting, and Morgan, our volunteer manager, she played a voicemail from a little girl who was calling her and said, "I know I'm only supposed to pick one book, but I really want two. Is there any way I can get 2 books?" I'm like, kids calling, asking for books, So it was just an amazing to hear and be a part of, that we were able to get over 350 books, was it, for our difference for kids in our rental.
Now, was this the first time doing this?
The very first time.
So I'm saying this is the first annual?
Right.
Is that what I'm hearing?
Even more than that. So in prior years, we would families could sign up to get gifts for their kids. So we've been doing that for a long time. But what we decided is that there are other organizations who are getting gifts, and to tie into our values of education, that we should give books to kids. And so the kids signed up, and over 400 kids signed up for books. Volunteers then donated the books, came in and packaged them up, and then we delivered them. But it's throughout the year. So when school is over in the spring, the kids will be able to sign up again for books. We have been doing a backpack drive for quite a few years. So all of the kids that live with us, and there's over 2,500 children who live with us, sign up, and they can get a backpack filled with school supplies before school starts. Now they can also get books. So it'll be throughout the year to tie in, again, the value of education and housing. And so what we do by providing, whether it's rental or home ownership opportunities, is it's not just a home, but it's a place where kids can study and have, space to do that.
I just got to ask this question, and I know but I love the idea about the books. Do you guys have a program, because I love to do this, is to read to kids. Do you guys have a program that, or it's an idea, that part of this is to have a reading program that somebody comes out and reads to the group? Because I don't know if you guys have
in other words, he wants to come out.
Yes, I want to be involved somehow.
You will be our first volunteer to do that.
All right.
We actually have, so we were talking about the volunteer programs. We do have people who come out and tutor. So we've got kids, they come to our learning centers in the afternoon, and you think about, well, what happens to kids after school? Not everybody can send their child to an after-school program, whether it's transportation or cost. There's a lot of barriers. So a lot of kids are coming home at the end of the school day. There's not necessarily parents there who can supervise or help with homework for a lot of reasons. So we've had those programs, and you asked about volunteers. We need volunteers, and we need, frankly, the financial support, the resources.
Yeah, for these youth
for the youth programs, because the programs don't just happen. And what we have done over the years is, again, I love the stories of the kids who we inspired the dreams. We provided that role model of somebody who's has a dream, who's gone on to college, who inspires the kids, who helps them with their homework. So many kids who've come through our program were not ready to start school.
No.
But for our volunteers or staffing, working with them, getting them ready for school, now helping with homework so that they can then be proficient in classes. We have computer labs. Think about the digital divide. We don't hear about that.
But
It is very real.
Very real still.
And so whether it's needing the computers to help with homework or to apply for jobs, we have computer labs in our housing. And these are supported by the community.
You do so many things, and I
Yes.
really want to thank both of you from Homeport for making sure that you are helping to build the village that you're also part of. Now, you focus on education as well as building community, and there's a piece that, because I'm hearing the books, usually that sounds like for younger children, but is there something that you do with teens?
The books are actually ages 0 to 18 signed up. So,
Financial literacy classes?
and we do have, at various times, we've provided financial literacy for the teens. And again, that's what resources are available to allow us to have the staffing to pull it together, and then we work with partners to provide those kinds of programs.
So give us an idea, assuming that you have the funding that you need, if you were hosting one of the financial fitness classes for teens, what does that entail?
The programs have entailed, it's usually an 8-week session. The last time we had it, which was either last year or the year before, a group of kids, one of our apartment communities will sign up and they come each week. Usually there's games involved in helping them learn about literacy. And what I've loved about the program is they take it home and then they talk to their family about it. And it's a way for the adults who may not have the time or realize the importance for, a lot of reasons. But then the kids are talking about it.
Right.
And it gets the parents to start thinking about savings. And from this program, we've had kids go out and get jobs because they've learned, oh, okay, so here's how I do it.
And I think one of the things, when I think about financial literacy for young people, one thing that the kids don't realize is that if you start at age 18 and you save $25 per week every week until you retire, hopefully at age 65, if you do it consistently and it's invested, you will retire. You will have more than $1 million just from that. So teaching children early on that you can spend $25 in a week easily. A few trips to McDonald's will do that. But I think that living in those neighborhoods, reminding each person that if you think about it and if you save and you're diligent, you can retire a millionaire.
Why, hopefully, can I regress and start over again to save that $25, hopefully? Not too late, we can do that. Well, also I hear about a program in regards to raising the roof on affordable housing. What exactly is that?
So last October, we had our first program called Raising the Roof on Affordable Housing, recognizing that people don't really understand, well, what does it mean? Why do we need to educate the community about affordable housing and elevate the issue? And so we had an event, and we'll be having this annually, to help the community understand that. I like the analogy of you can give people a fish and then they can eat today, or you can teach people to fish. And for a lifetime, they'll be able to eat. It's the same with housing. It's not about providing a home, a transitional house today. And right now is a timely time to talk about it because the number of people in our community who are homeless is huge. But what we want to do is help people understand the need for affordable housing so that it's a long-term commitment to people to be able to have a roof over their head, but together with the program so that they are able to succeed in life. And as a community, as we begin to understand that and support housing for everybody in our community, we can really change lives.
Exactly right.
At
I'm
that
sorry.
event, I think I'm relatively new to Homeport, so started about 4 months ago. And at that event, I thought it was really touching about the stories that were shared, because again, we're talking about people from all walks of life that have different needs, from our senior population to our rental to our home ownership to our children, just all different types of needs being met through the affordable housing vehicle, and having that be personal for people to really get to already understand. We're helping individuals, one family at a time, one house at a time, and that's making a difference in our entire community.
And sometimes you don't get, when you hear those personal stories, that's what really grabs you, because and I've heard some of them, and with others involved, is that's when it really hits home. It's not just a number, but it really hits home, it's a person, and you totally then understand, the impact that agencies such as yours have made in the community.
Well, when you think about who we impact, think of any person who works at a grocery store, tellers at banks, people who work for the city, people that we rely on every day for services, people making $10, $12, $15 an hour and less, they benefit from affordable housing. And if you are making that kind of income to be able to afford a market rate home, buy food, pay for transportation, health care, everything else, you can't do it. And that's why we exist. So it's for everybody in the community is benefiting from affordable housing.
Great. Well, one last thing. Wanted to make this announcement in regards to the two things. There's a Rosa Parks exhibit at the Homeport Gallery, and that's going to be
right.
February 13th. I understand.
January 23rd.
I'm sorry, January 23rd.
Yes.
I don't know how I got February 13th. January 23rd.
That's the next
That's the
event.
next one.
Oh.
They're always doing something.
Yeah.
Right?
there.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep up.
Got a whole lot of events, but they can go to your
They can
website,
go to our
right?
website.
Right.
That's
Go to your website. And what was that website again?
homeportohio.org,
And in case I don't have access to the web, I can call what number?
614-221-8889.
And the Rosa Parks exhibit goes on for how long?
It's only on January 23rd. It's a traveling exhibit, and it will be at our Homeport Gallery. And people ask, why does Homeport have a gallery? And it's part of the revitalization of the King Lincoln neighborhood. And it's one of the window bays of the Lincoln Theater. So the exhibit is free. People can come on in and see the exhibit. And in the Homeport Gallery, starting in February, Lisa Cliff will have an exhibit called Buttons and Baubles. And her grandmother grew up in King Lincoln neighborhood, and she's a well-known artist.
Wow, amazing,
You do so
amazing.
much. Thank
Yeah,
you.
you know what? So I'm excited already for all the events that are going on,
No,
but
he
also.
wants to read.
But I want to
We're
read.
going to work on that.
I want to read. All right. Well, we do appreciate your time that you spent with us, and I'm excited about things that are going on, in our community and what you guys have done. So I want to make sure our viewing audience takes the time, makes the phone call, gets online to learn more about Homeport.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much
very
for having
much.
us.
And we'll be right back after these words.